Hello everyone, I welcome to you in the sports shoe design session of part D. In the earlier session of the sports shoe design, we have completed the 3D model creation of the sports shoes and developed the upper final patterns. Now in this class, we will accomplish the design of the interlining patterns, which in terms of the footwear is called as lining patterns. Another one is interfacing patterns, which is called as top-off and counter stiffness. So let's have a look onto the screen. So first of all, you have to go to the file and open, and you have to open your file. And after opening this, it will start to appear into the screen. Now you can see that this is the standards of the upper sport shoes which I have created in the earlier classes. Now we have to develop the standards of the lining of the sport shoes. For that purpose, we have to select the entire objects. After the selection, we have to press the Ctrl C to copy this standards and go to the file new. Now you have to paste by pressing Ctrl V and then finish it. Now we have to do some editing in this. That is that we have to delete the unwanted or unnecessary patterns, whatever not needed, into the lining standards. Let's select these lines. These are the lines which will not be required into the lining standards of these sport shoes. Now we have to create the main lines of this one. First of all, we have to delete this one. Now we have to create the main line of the center back. So for that purpose, we have to come to this average to splines, and we have to select these two, and we have to draw the main line, and then OK. Now we have to delete these two unwanted lines. Now we have to select these two lines and we have to create the offset for both. We have to reduce the lasting allowance by 6 mm into the standards of the lining. Like this. After the reduction by 6 mm from the bottom, now we have to reduce the center front line. We have to select the center front line, and then we have to go to the variable parallel, and we have to select the center line, and after that we have to reduce it by 2 mm. After the reduction, we have to similarly repeat the process. We have to reduce the center back line by 2 mm at the top and by 4 mm from the bottom. After the reduction, we have to delete these lines and we have to readjust this line. OK. Now we have to go to the trim and we have to select these two lines. Right click, selection done, and we have to delete it. Now similarly, we have to repeat the process over here. We have to select the trim, and we have to select these two, right click, selection done, and then OK. We have to select this line and we have to reduce the breakpoint like this, and then OK. After reducing the breakpoint, go to the middle line, and we have to select these two lines and we have to draw the middle line. After drawing middle lines, we have to go to the trim and we have to select the counter line and selection done. After that, we have to select this line, right click, selection done, and we have to finish it over here. Alteration into the counter position like this, and have to draw the two caps of the lining, and we have to measure. From this point we have to take minimum 20 mm and go to the draw and select the new spline. After the selection of the new spline, we have to draw the two cap line and we have to finish it over. We have to reshape it, so we have to select this line, and after the selections we have to reshape it as required. Now we can see that we have drawn the toe cap and counter and the quarter portions. Now we have to draw the interfacing patterns, that is called the toe puff and the counter stiffener. So for that purpose we have to go to the tool, and from this portion we have to draw 75 mm or 70 mm. Okay, now so this is the total 75, so we have to reduce, we have to select this line and go to the parallel, and by 5 mm we have to reduce it, or 4 mm, and then okay. Now it's okay. After finishing this work, we have to draw the counter stiffener pattern. So what we have to do, we have to select this line and we have to take the parallel and then okay. After that we have to go to the design menu and we have to select the exchange GP, and we have to select this line and we have to exchange it like this. After the exchanging of these things, we have to reposition it and we have to draw a line. Now we have to go to the tools and we have to, from here we have to take for 80 mm 8.5 centimeter or 85 mm. So now we have to select this line and we have to do some correction for the counter stiffener. After that we have to finish it. Now counter stiffness has also been completed. Now we have to select this line, and first of all we have to go to the design menu and we have to exchange GP. Select this one, yes, and we have to exchange this GP. We have to go to the trim and we have to select this line, right click, selection done, and we have to trim it over here. Similarly we have to select this line and the selection done. After that we have to finish the selection. Now very important things is that we have to apply the seam allowances and the underlay allowances to these standards. So for that purpose we have to select this line and we have to apply the underlay allowance. So it should be 9 mm. Similarly we have to select this line and we have to apply underlay allowances as 9 mm. And then okay. Now we have to again go to the trim, and then we can see that all these lines we have to select. After the selection of all these lines, right click, selection done, and we have to trim it out. In the same way we have to select this line and we have to trim it over here. We have to select these two lines also, and right click, selection done, and we have to trim it over here. Now we can see most of the correction work has completed. Now we are ready to eliminate the final patterns. Pattern menu, and we have to select the new pattern icon And now we have to start the tracing of the pattern. In a clockwise direction. So this is the outer one. Left click over here and give the name as a toe cap short form TC lining and hit the enter button. After that, double left click outside of the pattern and go to the pattern info icon, and by pressing left click we can rotate the pattern information and reposition it, and then OK. Next operation is that we have to add the simple elements to this pattern. For that purpose, press the shift button and select the shell. After the selection of shell, we have to go to the simple element tools and we have to select line and then OK. So first of all, we have to come to our GP and we have to select the trim. After the selection of trim, the selection done, and we have to do like this. Next important operations is we have to apply the stencils to this pattern. So we have to select the new stencils and select the baseline, and then we have to start the drawing stencils. After the application of stencils, we have to mirror it like this. Now we can see the final pattern of the toe cap lining has completed. Next we have to eliminate the pattern that is called the pointer portions of this lining. So we have to go to the new pattern icon and we have to select this portion of the patterns in a clockwise direction. Very careful. Now we have to give the name to this pattern as a QTR, quieter short form, and lining. After that, we have to hit the enter button, double left click outside of this pattern and go to the pattern info, left click, and we have to change the pattern information. Next, very important is that we have to select by pressing shell, by pressing shift, and then we have to add the simple elements to this pattern like this. Apply the stencil to this pattern. Select the baseline. Go to the next carrier. And then OK. First of all, mirror it. After that, we have to press the shift button and select the shell, and now we have to select the this line. After selection, you have to exchange the segment outer into the inner, and then now we have to apply the notches to the outer portion, as like this is the outer of the lining. So now next very important pattern, we have to eliminate the counter portion of the sportsy lining. So we have to select the new pattern. After the selections of the new pattern, we have to trace this pattern in a clockwise direction. You have to give the name as a counter lining. Hit the enter button, double left click outside of the pattern, go to the left click, rotate pattern info and reposition it over here. After that, we have to add the simple elements. We have to press the control and we have to go to the shell and we have to add the simple elements to this pattern. Now OK, so we have to apply the stencils to this pattern also. So we have to go to the stencil icon, left click, select the baseline, and then finish it. After finishing, we have to mirror it. Now it's okay. Press the shift button and we have to select the shell. After the selection of shell, we have to go to the all GP and then we have to do little bit changing. Now we can see whether it has been changed or not. Now we can review the final all the patterns of the sports shoe lining with its standards has been completed. Now we have to recheck it whether all the patterns has completed or not. So we have to press the shift button and we have to select all the pieces. Now we can see the lining patterns, all the patterns to cap lining, quarter lining and counter lining portions has also been completed. After the completions of all these things, the sports shoe upper and lining, all the patterns has completed. Now we have to eliminate the patterns, that is called the interfacing patterns, to puff and counter stiffener. So first of all, we have to reduce this line by 5 mm from bottom to puff and counter stiffener. So for that purpose, we have to select this mean line. After the selection, we have to go to the parallel and 5 mm we have to select, and then again, first of all we have to go to the design trim and we have to select the middle line, right click, selection done, and we have to trim this by over here. In the same way, we have to select this line, right click, selection done, and we have to trim by this line. Now we have to come to this counter portion, select the counter, right click, selection done, and we have to trim by this line. Now you have to finish it. After finishing, we have to go to the pattern and select the new pattern, line in a clockwise direction. Now you have to give the name as a toe puff and hit enter button. Double left click outside of the toe puff. Pattern information, we have to reposition it. Now we have to mirror this pattern. We have to select this one and mirror it. Similarly, we have to eliminate or trace the pattern of the counter stiffener. So we have to select all these patterns in a clockwise direction and give the name as a counter stiffener. Double FINER. Hit the enter button, double left click outside the pattern, and then you have to reposition the pattern information, and then OK. Now we have to mirror it. Now we can see all the pieces of all the patterns with the toe puff and counter stiffness of the lining of the sports shoes has completed. Next very important operation is the grading. So first of all, let me explain you about the pattern grading. What is the grading? You must have to understand first of all. So pattern grading is the process whereby the patterns of different sizes are produced from the original master patterns. Patterns are graded according to size charts of the specification sheets. Patterns initially are made in one size, that is called as a master pattern. So let me grade these patterns for the upper and the lining both. So first of all, we have to go to the file menu and open, and we have to select the sports shoe upper pattern also, and we have to open here. So these are the upper patterns of these sports shoes, and secondly what I have shown you, these are the lining, toe puff and counter stiffener patterns of these sports shoes. So finally all the patterns whatever needed into the sport shoes we have completely designed. Now next very important operation is the grading. So let's start the grading. So let me do the grading of this lining patterns. As usually same process we have to apply for the uppers. So as we can see into the screen that this is the grade options. So we have to select this grade option. After that we have to go to the grading, right click and add in window. Now we have to decide the girth length and the girth increment of the sizes. So as we know in the English format is 8.46. So we have to enter here 8.46 and the girth will be half of the 8.46, that is 4.23. Now we have to select the sizes as a 7, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So we have to grade all this up to 9. So what is the master size? First of all we have to select, right click and select the master size. After the selection of these things we have to OK. So next very important thing is what? We have to select the any pattern and we have to grading rectangle we have to apply to that to our specific patterns. This is the we have to in-center it and then we have to match the maximum area of the pattern. Highest point of the pattern we have to touch it. After the application of the rectangles we have to finish it. Now you can see the grading has applied to all the required sizes whatever we need. This is the top of and counter stiffness and this is counter lining and this is the toe cap lining, quarter lining. All these patterns has been graded. Similarly we have to grade the upper pattern also. We have to go to the grading, right click and edit in window. Now what will be the difference between two sizes? There is different types of size as like French sizes and English sizes. So we are going to grade according to the English size. So as we know that what is the difference between two sizes? So in English size format there is the difference between two sizes 8.46. So we have to enter here length 8.46 and girth increment will be half of this, so 4.23. After that we have to decide the sizes, whatever sizes we want to grade up to what. As we have to grade all these sizes, so what is the master pattern? We have to select master pattern and then after the finishing of these things, so we have to select any one pattern and we have to apply the rectangles to the grading rectangles to this pattern. This is the center location point. We have to relocate it to the center and we have to match to the maximum height of the patterns. To that rectangle we have to relocate to the maximum height of the pattern. As we can see we have relocated these rectangles and then we have to finish this. Now we can see that the size has been graded if you want to see it. Now we can see that the grading of all the sizes has been completed for the uppers pattern also. For the uppers and lining for both, the gradings has also been completed. The session of the sport shoe design has completed from the starting with the 3D, 2D and final patterns completions of these sport shoes. In this session we have completed. I hope that this class will be very much helpful. Thank you for this session.